Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to do a quick G-Shock Square update and also talk about my newest addition. So I've actually had a couple of questions that I want to kind of address first regarding this titanium kit. I did a video on this about a year ago. Absolutely love this titanium kit. In hindsight, I should have bought two because it just makes this watch, you know, these G-Shocks are already very light watches, and this titanium just kind of keeps that favorable attribute. I tried a couple of steel ones, and those kind of, you know, unfortunately kind of bounce around a little bit in the wrist, you know, slide up and down because steel's a little heavier, but this titanium really feels very close to, you know, the stock kind of feel. And people have been asking how has it held up over the past year. And I think really well. You know, titanium in general kind of takes on scratches really well. Like it kind of just blends in, but you can kind of see some just kind of scrapes and scuffs here and there. But overall, not too bad. Let's see, over here is probably the worst of it. And then obviously the top is, I think, stainless steel. But the top, maybe it's polished, obviously takes on more scratches. And keep in mind, I've got a full-blown LED light above head, so this is kind of under kind of the worst conditions, because normally without a powerful light shining from above, you don't really notice it. So I think it's aged really well. And like I said, I'm not really babying these watches. I got these G-Shocks to really kind of wear them and, you know, never really think twice about it. So just want to kind of quickly touch upon how the titanium kits worked out. And unfortunately, the prices kind of gone up a lot on these. I think I paid like I can't remember, it'd be $80, $90, something like that, but now it's much higher. So yeah, that's it for that one. And then most recently, this is the one that I just added, and this is the GW-5000. So this really, for the most part, is identical internals and kind of functions to the M5610, right, that we have here. Let me just put this one aside. So functionally, they pretty much do the same thing as far as I can tell. You have all the same typical functions, you know, excuse me. So you got your world time, alarm, stopwatch, timer, and back normal. So it's really functionally the same watch, same module. These are both of these I got are kind of the older modules, which still have the electroluminescence. You can see right here. Both of these have been updated with newer modules, and really probably I'd say the biggest change between these older modules and the new ones is that the EL light is replaced with a LED. I think that's kind of the most notable change, but to be honest, I prefer the EL backlight. I just find it a little bit more, you know, easier to see and just kind of a little more kind of, I don't know, old school. I just kind of like the EL backlight better over, like if we look at some of the ones with LEDs, you can kind of see the LED kind of just, you know, shines from the side. I mean, it's not bad, but I just prefer the EL backlit. And then the newer module also offers you a way to change the date format. For our friends in Europe that put the date then the month, you can switch that around to accommodate that. But really, otherwise, you're kind of getting the same module. If it had updated the LCD to kind of the STN technology, then I probably would have gone for the newer one. But otherwise, I prefer the EL backlight. So that's just a quick little difference on between the older and the newer. But let's talk about this watch. I've wanted this one for quite some time. I was kind of just looking around waiting for a decent price to pop up on the secondary market, and just picked it up. I've wanted this because ever since I got my hands on the Frogman, so I guess I'll kind of do a little quick rant. So G-Shock, I think, is a very kind of, I don't know, overused term, I feel like, because people associate G-Shock with, you know, ruggedness. And yes, to a degree it's true, but there are a lot of Casios that are built just as well that don't carry the G-Shock name on them. So, for example, this Pro Trek doesn't have a G-Shock label, but I've taken I've taken the Pro Trek apart, and I've taken the arrangement apart, and I can tell you internally they're virtually the same build quality. I mean, the only big difference is what you see on the outside. This has kind of that resin full case. This has resin and a metal, chapter ring, or not chapter ring, bezel. But otherwise, internally they're the same. So, I think people kind of get a little overconfident. Like, for example, I have another watch here that is not a G-Shock, but it is built just as good inside as this G-Shock. So it doesn't have the G-Shock name, but I think it's built just as well. I mean, inside you have the exact same thing, a plastic module, case back. This kind of has more of a resin on it. This kind of has a more harder plastic, so I suppose vibration might be a little better. But I don't know. I think for the most part, there isn't that much of a difference. Now, where we get into like what I call the G-Shock pluses are like the Frogman, and this GW-5000, because these are actually all metal inside. So unlike all these other ones that have a plastic case under the, if you were to remove the shroud of any of these, they all have kind of a plastic body, where the Frogman has an all metal, and that's why I wanted this one. I wanted that all metal, kind of as rugged as you can make a G-Shock. I think this is it. So that was kind of my main reason for getting it. I wanted this to be kind of become my main daily square for the most part, and then these I'll probably like give to my kids or something like that. Or maybe I'll keep the one in that titanium at least, because I do like the titanium, and this unfortunately will not fit that. But if you're in the market for a G-Shock square, and you really want kind of the all-out kind of bulletproof one, this is the one to get. It's going to have a couple advantages. One is going to be obviously the full metal construction, so it's going to really, it will take a lot to kind of damage that. But the other big thing is a screw down case back, which will help with water resistance, durability, and also prevent any humidity or moisture from leaking in there. I've never had a problem with these just screw down case backs, but it is a point of failure where a screw down case back is always going to be superior to one of these kind of bolt-in, whatever they're called. So that was kind of my main attraction to this square. I wanted kind of the square version of my Frogman. I consider my Frogman kind of my most indestructible watch I own, but it's just big, so I don't quite get to wear it as often as I'd like. So I wanted kind of its smaller, kind of pared down option, and this is what caught my eye. So really good watch. It also comes with a much higher quality band. So this one comes with a very kind of plasticky feeling band, where this one kind of has more of a kind of a rubber silicone type feel. So it does feel much nicer on the wrist than this plastic one. It is a little heavier though. That's the consequence from going from all plastic to all metal, is this one's a little heavier. You feel it holding them, but once it's on wrist, honestly, I can't really tell a difference. I guess because it fits so well that it's super comfortable. Even though this square weighs more than my Rangeman, it's still more comfortable just because this one's a little bigger. But that's kind of my reasoning for getting this one, and I think it's a fantastic watch. Is it worth the premium price over the 5610? Yeah, I think so. The difference, I think, is negligible when you kind of price it. These watches that you're going to have, if you want to have them, you can have these watches for 10-20 years easily. So when you spread out the extra maybe $100 over 10-20 years, I think it's worth it. And these, I think, have a better resale value as well. These are actually JDM watches, so these aren't as easily available in the US. Like these, this one you can get at Kohl's, on Amazon, Macy's, you know, whatever. These are fairly easy available. And this one, not so much. If you do find a US seller, they're often be marked up. So you either have to buy it from like a Japan seller or on the used market like I did. But really great watch. Like it a lot. So let's do it. Let's just do a quick on wrist here. And I have roughly a little under a 7-inch wrist. There you go. So fits really nicely, super comfortable. I mean, these squares are just like they're watches. They're meant to be worn. They're just very practical. You know, I mean, probably not going to turn many. Excuse me. Probably not going to turn many heads with these unless you've got a watch person in the crowd. But for practicality, you can't beat these. I mean, you can bang them. They're low profile, fit under it, don't get snagged on clothes. You know, they're waterproof, solar. I mean, these are typically watches I kind of just wear kind of daily, really, unless it's like a special occasion or some kind of work event where I'll probably wear my mechanical watch or something. But these squares are just kind of a great daily wearing watch. So yeah, that's kind of the quick update on the newest Casio GW-5000. Strongly recommend it. If you already have one, I'm sick here, by the way. If you already have one of these, I mean, maybe then it might not make sense to get a second one unless you just like to have multiple watches and collect them. But if you're looking for your first kind of square and just plan on only having one, I mean, hands down, it's worth it. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one. And I gotta get some water because this cough is just killing me. And this actually is a newer Casio too, and I haven't done a video on this one either. But if anyone wants to see more about this one, let me see if I can get the model number in here. AQ164W. Just another kind of easy kind of to throw on watch. Okay guys, well anyway, have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.